where you have a perfectly running truck, and just because sensors go out, you have to drive 5 miles per hour, which you're creating not only a lot of expenses for yourself, but you're on the side of the highway when you don't have to be. You can just get to a safe spot in a shop. So,
and it's no disrespect for like the DD15. I in my opinion, I think that's the best emissions truck. Or the best emissions engine is the DD15. But I always stick with I think if you had a Max Force, I'm sure there's a guy out there with a Max Force International, the worst setup possible, and he's running 1,000,000 miles and hasn't had a problem. You know what I mean? So anything is possible.
Welcome to Truckee After Hours, Thursday, 8 p.m. Central. Thank you for being here and tuning in. We're going to talk about what's happened this week in trucking and maybe have some friends stop by from our trucking business community. And if you guys can let me know in the chat if the music is too loud. I think it's okay, but just let me know, please. So yeah, welcome. It's February 12th, 2026. A lot happened this week in trucking, especially around EPA regulations. So that will be a fun topic. I got a couple of things prepared to run and talk to you about some things that happened. All right, let's talk about what happened here. And one of the most important stories, I think, is the EPA scrapped officially the rule as far as the 2009 endangerment finding, a landmark Obama-era policy that legally classified greenhouse gases as a threat to public health. So this was the legal foundation the government used to regulate tailpipe emissions for the last 16 years. By removing it, the administration has effectively pulled the rug out of under existing federal greenhouse gas standards. This is being called the largest act of deregulation in the United States history for the industry. It means the federal government is stepping back from mandating how CO2 your truck can emit. So that study, I did some reading on it a while ago, and I don't want to speak too much, but I think it was a bogus study. And as a big proponent of deregulating emissions back to where we were, or maybe keeping the emissions that we have, but getting rid of the mandatory D rates, that would help for sure. And opening up the glider kit law, which I've already mentioned in the past. Yo, what's up? Gabriel, how are you doing, brother? And that is something that is interesting because I had a feeling the EPA laws are going to start getting dropped, which is going to be interesting. The biggest one is the EPA revokes California's special authority. The Trump administration is taking a direct shot at California's ability to set its own stricter emission rules. The EPA is moving to nullify waivers that allowed California to mandate a transition to electric trucks. So yeah, this is not the United States of California arguing that one state shouldn't dictate national supply chain policy. I totally agree. California was so strict with emissions that you couldn't even go there even if you didn't live in the state with a truck that was not the emission standard that they required, which was for some reason 2000, I believe it was 2010 or 2007. I don't remember exactly. But it was just kind of a random law that would prevent you from going in. Even if you own a glider or a classic truck, you wouldn't be able to go to California, which is, I'm actually glad that was dropped. Who's on here? Can't hear anything. Hold on. All right, good. Is the music loud, or can you guys tell me if my mic's not working? I'm so dedicated to the music behind. Can't hear anything. Music is too loud. Okay, all right, I'm going to turn this off. I got to figure out a better way to do this music thing because it's just when I'm talking to myself, it's better when I hear something in my headphones. But tell me how it is right now, guys. Music is, all right. Adam, how's it going, Adam? Cześć. Music is, all right. Can you hear me good? Right now, is it clear? Because I just talked about emissions and nothing probably came to. Now it's my better. Okay, good. So Adam, where are you at? Let me know. Gabriel, where are you guys at? Talk to me. I have a guest coming up probably in 3 minutes or 7 minutes. I told him to be here around 8:15. So we'll talk some trucks. And we have our friend Kenny hopping in. So yeah, that was a good one. The 2027 pre-buy surge is canceled, which was actually pretty good. For months, the industry expected a massive pre-buy in 2026 where fleets would rush to buy old diesel technology before strict 2027 rules kicked in. So because the EPA has scrapped those upcoming 2027 standards, there's no longer a regulatory cliff. This stabilizes the truck market. You won't see a massive spike in prices or a shortage of trucks next year because everyone is rushing to buy last year's model. It saves small operators an estimated $25,000 to $30,000 per vehicle in added equipment cost. Pretty cool. I was not aware. I mean, I don't remember now. I know there was a regulation coming in 2027, but I don't remember what specifically they could mess up more about the emissions. I know they were pushing for electric, but I don't know what else can you push. I would have to research that. I really don't remember. If you guys know, chime in. Adam's in Denver. I know you're in Denver. Good. Are you driving or are you at home? Spark Transport in Joliet, picking up at G4. Oh, yeah. Have fun over there, brother. That's funny. What else we got? What trucks do you have? I know Adam is looking for a truck. Well, Gabriel, what are you driving? Adam's at home. Okay, good. Go look at some trucks, educate a little bit more. Adam's in our group, in our community, trucking business community. So if you guys are interested joining in a really cool group that we have, just go to trucku.com and you'll have the access to our free group. We do a lot of fun stuff there. Let me see if he has to stop for fuel, so he's driving right now. All right, tell me guys, to Indianapolis. Okay, good. What are you hauling? Do you know what you're hauling in that container? The 200 million parking win. After years of drivers sounding the alarm, Congress has finally put its money where its mouth is. For the first time in history, the federal spending bill includes 200 million dedicated specifically to truck parking. That's like two parking spots in California. Research shows that average driver loses nearly an hour of drive time every day just looking for a safe spot to shut down. This isn't just about convenience, it's about safety and your bottom line. More parking means less hours of service violations and less time burning fuel while circling through full rest areas. Yeah, the parking is a problem. It was a problem when I was driving years ago, and it's probably still a problem. I know it's a problem since I talked to my drivers, but yes, that's good that they're actually doing something. I don't think 200 million is enough to do this. Gabriel's getting loaded right now. He doesn't know what. We'll go peek or look at your BOL, see what's there. The great tech pivot. Wall Street bets on diesel. In a surprising twist, investors are pulling money out of high-tech AI stocks and dumping it back into old economy, transportation companies. The Dow Jones Transportation Average is currently outperforming the S&P 500 by a massive 13 points. Okay. Investors are nervous about AI hype and are looking for stability in companies that move physical goods like FedEx, Old Dominion, and CSX. While the headlines are often about robots and self-driving trucks, the smart money is betting on the current diesel-powered infrastructure. It shows a massive vote of confidence and the staying power of traditional trucking as the backbone of the economy. Yeah, a backbone of the economy that's been last 4 years struggling like crazy. Hopefully it's going to be good for trucking. I still have other ideas on what to do and make it better, and obviously create a little bit more framework. I would like to talk more about trucks. If anybody's looking for a truck or is thinking about buying a specific thing, and then I'm going to probably bring some deals. That I find trucks a lot. I look on the market for trucks all the time, and if I find good deals, I would definitely bring it up to the show so we can look at some pricing, and maybe if somebody is considering specific trucks, if I find deals. I don't know, I'm just rambling right now. And again, cracking down on non-domicile CDLs. I just saw an article. Oh, at the beginning. Okay, yeah. Volume sounds great. Good. When I know in the beginning, I saw today an article that said that there was 135,000 truckers off the market, which is quite a high number. I know it's not just the non-domicile CDLs, although there was a lot of, from what they're talking about, the numbers were about 180,000, something around that number. but I think they're including trucking companies going out of business and shutting down and leaving the market. The Department of Transportation has issued a final rule that tightens the screws on how commercial licenses are handled for non-citizens. The new rule ups the standards for non-domiciled CDLs, focusing on stricter record keeping and English language proficiency. The goal is to close loopholes that allowed some drivers to bypass safety standards. But industry experts warn it could shrink the driver pool even further. Great. That's what we want. Expect more scrutiny during roadside inspections. If you're a fleet owner, you need to double check your driver qualification files, as federal audits are expected to ramp up significantly following this rule change. Yeah, I mean, it's a normal market dynamic. If you have so many drivers on the market that nobody cares about relationships, everybody's just going to chase a bottom rate to give you. And we need to change that, which that's what's happening on the market, right? Semi-truck parts prices going up. I'm helping some students with buying trucks, and it's crazy. This week, over the last couple of weeks, we've been looking at especially gliders, and some of the Cascadias seem to be a little bit pricier, but there's particularly couple. One of my trucks. What do you have, Gabriel? Tell me. What trucks do you have for sale? We are looking at some classic trucks, classic pre-emission early 2000s in really good condition. And there was a Cat C15 Kenworth W900 renewal. Back for heavy duty was a 50-some thousand, which is, I think it would look great. 2012 Volvo VNL 780 ISX. Oh, brother, what are you asking for? What if we have a show we sell trucks live? That would be fun. 80,000 miles ISX. Is that the automatic or 13-speed? What do you have in it? I'll guess the price if you tell me the transmission. Freightliner with a 1998 Cummins N14. Ooh, a homemade glider. Amazing. Tell me about that. Who built that for you, Gabriel? And why are you selling? Market's heating up. What's going on with you? Not a true glider. No, it's not a glider at all. But 13 speed. Yeah. Okay, so 2012 Volvo VNL 780, 780,000 miles. Okay, are you guys getting out of business? You and your dad are getting out of business? What's going on? You selling both of the trucks? That N14. Oh, you and your dad. I thought that's who built it. Okay, that's interesting. With an N14, is it because you said Freightliner? Is it Cascadia that you guys have, or what is it? Or Columbia? Yeah, send it over. Where's my buddy? I don't know. Kenny, where are you at? All right, he's coming. Oh, 14 trucks. Gabriel, awesome. Good job, man. Congrats. How about you join our trucking business community? I'll get you on the podcast. We'll talk trucks and how you scaled it. Yeah, Cascadia. Good. That's an interesting build. I would want to talk about that. If you go to truckyou.com, Gabriel, I don't know if you're already there or not, because there's almost 1,000 people there. 900. But that's impressive. 14 all intermodal. That's great. Or do you guys do OTR as well? See, when I don't say anything, I would like music in the background, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. There you go. Oh. Are you okay? What's going on with you?
Yeah, it's this thing is, I've been trying to join it for like 10 minutes. It's not going in.
Well, I appreciate you stopping by and saying hi and catching up.
Yeah, no problem.
How are you doing, brother?
Not too bad. Our season just started up, so we're running hard now.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's been heating up on the driving. Are you doing driving?
No. We're doing flatbed. Our dedicated customer just started, so it's all flatbed stuff. It's like Home Depot mulch and Lowe's mulch and stuff like that. Topsoil.
Great. That's awesome. Yeah, how long have you been? Because I appreciate you hopping in. I wanted to see how you're doing because I know you're hustling, man. And
yeah, we don't stop.
You're tired. Yeah, you don't. Are you going to be late?
No. I'm actually, I just did my delivery in West Virginia, so I'm going back to the yard now. So my day's pretty much over, but I'm trying to get back to the yard so that I can at least get some sleep because we're going to be back into it about 5 a.m. tomorrow. So good days.
Nice. Are you going to get your 10-hour reset then?
No, we don't actually, we don't do any logbooks or anything like that. So for this trip, I would have to because it's, no, technically I won't because it's 170 miles. So we run 150 air miles, so we don't have to run logbooks or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not over the road. Good. I'm still kind of getting home every day.
That's good. How's your truck holding up? How's everything going?
The truck is holding up really well. I'm like obsessive about. Actually, I seen a guy on YouTube called DIY Semi. He calls it not preventative maintenance, it's like airplane maintenance. You know what I mean? Treat your
Yeah.
truck like an airplane. So you're gonna catch things 6 months before they even give you problems. So I always stay on top of my truck like it's an airplane. You know, if I see a hose that looks a little brittle, get that thing out of there because it's gonna leak in 6 months. Truck's holding up
You
pretty
know,
good.
that's awesome. You know, our podcast got quite a lot of views, and I can tell you some of the shorts we posted, and people are commenting and messaging me, and everybody has their own opinion, obviously. And I was gonna comment on it too because it's interesting how we haven't talked about how it's important for you, for anybody that's looking for a truck like that, to know how to wrench and know the trucks, right? Because a lot of
Yeah.
guys, well, you're gonna have issues, all that. Like, of course, but that's the whole point. You have to find the truck that's not only well taken care of, but also your ability to spot the issues and fix it and not worry about
Yeah.
it. That's what makes it worth it as far as taking the risk, right?
Yeah, and even if you were to like, there's this I watch a lot of YouTube, like I said in the interview last time, and to be honest with you, if you go to a dealership and got like a newer truck and spent $200,000 in the truck, it'll be a good truck for 4 or 5 years or whenever the emission stuff starts to crap out. But you could go buy a Columbia FLD Classic for 10-15K and put 50,000 into it, and with these older trucks, if you were to put a crazy amount of money in there like that, you can get a new engine, crate motor, new transmission. You could just rebuild the whole truck from scratch and have no problems and still be in less than $80,000 with a truck that'll never break down for like the next million miles. And to me, even if you did put all that money into it, it's still going to be more reliable than a newer truck. So no
Oh,
matter which way you look at it, it's going to be better.
100% agree. It's just a matter of, what's your budget on restoring the truck. And some people say at what point doesn't make sense to restore. And I say, if you have the cash, I would rather restore an older truck completely than buy a new truck, right? But
Yeah.
that's how we did it. And some guys, like I have some students that I'm helping buy trucks right now, and they don't know what to do because gliders are expensive. Then you have
Exactly.
classic trucks that are in the 90s, the Petes and the W9s, and all of a sudden, how are you going to whip out $50,000-$60,000 to buy a truck that's already overhauled, restored,
Yeah.
and ready to roll? So I'm actually helping somebody's buying a truck right now, at a really awesome truck, a 2007 with a C15 W9, and it is pricey, but damn, that truck is good, well taken care of, overhauled. Well, I take that back. I don't know if it's overhauled. I have to look if it's overhauled, but it was a 13
If
speed.
it doesn't have paperwork, it's not overhaul.
Yeah, but he has cash. He has cash to buy it, which is great. And if some other students I have are looking at $80,000 trucks cash, so people are saving money. I'm like, where are you guys making this money as
Where do you
drivers?
get this money? Yeah. See, I mean, the most ideal truck would be, if you're like, you made it, you're going to go buy a truck, it's comfortable, it's got everything you want, is a nice Coronado glider, in my opinion. It's like the best truck you can get, but, that's if you have money to get into it, you got 100K investment, you got your own, whatever, you got money to start off with. The people that are getting these older trucks want a strong platform for a more reasonable price. And in my opinion, I think you can get a truck for 15K all day long. If you do not know how to wrench on a truck, in my opinion, this industry is just not really, because it's going to come for you at some point, and I think that the people who know how to wrench, they have such an advantage because they can go buy older, more reliable trucks, tinker with the hoses, tinker with this and that. The things that give older trucks problems aren't your motor and trans going. They're, you got a coolant leak because your hoses are getting old. Your battery cable sucks, so your truck won't start. Dumb things, and things that if you can turn a good wrench, that you could buy that truck, do all the battery cables, put new batteries, put a new starter in, put a water, dumb stuff, and your truck is going to give you no problems. Whereas Cascadia and all these newer trucks, they're going to give you problems, and the problems are minute, but it's going to cost you in getting the truck towed. And especially if you have a warranty and you have to go to a shop, you're going to be sitting there for 3 months before they get to it.
But I can tell you, I got some 18 still Cascadias running regional, and they're doing fine. Just had to swap DPFs, and I can tell you from all the emission trucks that I've owned or was involved in, the Cascadias are bulletproof as far as the engines. There's some, simple stuff. So there are trucks that you can buy a 2020 Cascadia with low mileage, 400,000 miles, and you'll still do fine for 3-4 years.
So
It's just a question of taking care of the DPF. But did you see the rules that they just dropped? And they're trying to eliminate. They're collecting data from manufacturers about the D rate and how it's derating emissions.
Yeah. So I was actually just watching a video about that.
If that passes, that'll be big, because then I don't know if you can delete it, and I wouldn't. Who knows how that's going to roll out. But at the same time, if you have a truck that's going to now derate, then it's not going to derate to 5 miles per hour. I'm hoping it's going to be like, all right, let's just, buy time and get you to a local shop and drive 55 or 65, not 5 miles per hour, which is completely ridiculous. That was always my problem with it, because, again, I've talked about it ad nauseum, where you have a perfectly running truck, and just because sensors go out, you have to drive 5 miles per hour, which you're creating not only a lot of expenses for yourself, but you're on the side of the highway when you don't have to be. You can just get to a safe spot in a shop. So,
and it's no disrespect for like the DD15. I in my opinion, I think that's the best emissions truck. Or the best emissions engine is the DD15. But I always stick with. I think if you had a Max Force, I'm sure there's a guy out there with a Max Force International, the worst setup possible, and he's running 1 million miles and hasn't had a problem. You know what I mean? So anything is possible, but I think with trucking and how difficult it is less about possibility and more about probability. And that's the only reason I got this crazy formula with these trucks, is because anything is possible, but we want to increase our chances of success as much as we possibly can by getting the best setup. I'm sure there's guys out there with the trash X15 Cummins and got 2 million miles on it and haven't had a problem. Does it mean that it's a probable setup that if I'm going to go on like a platform like yours and say, hey, everybody go out here and get this platform? I'm not going to do it because 2 or 3 guys did it, 100 guys did it, but it's not a duplicatable system. And, that's why I don't advocate. But, the DD15 is a good engine. It's reliable for the most part. And, with this new stuff coming out with the emission stuff, I know they're making DD15s in like Mexico that don't even have the emissions from factory and stuff like that. So there's other countries that are getting these emission engines from Detroit without it on there.
Not only that, I don't know they're buying. I've sold a lot of my trucks to guys in Mexico and South America, and they're just gutting the emissions. It's just they're using them for another 500,000 to 1 million miles. Of course, It's just, again, there's ways to do it. Emissions got better, obviously. A lot more reliable than it was in the mid-teens, like the 15, 16, 17s. It was still pretty faulty. Right now, like I said, the 2020s, 2021s, even some of the internationals, I can tell you I have a decent experience with those. The multi-box is not that expensive to repair. The problem is the transmission on those. And I always say, every student that I have, like, if you can go manual, go manual. Like, don't even think about automatic, because that's also adding, you can, I don't know, you probably didn't have to do it, but multiple times drivers ask me, what do you do when you get derated? In automatic, you're pretty much screwed. On a manual, you pull out the speed sensor and you can make it to a shop.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because it's
that's crazy.
Because it's not, it's measured by the speed of the by the speed sensor. So when you unplug it, So William is asking, we have guys chiming in here. He's trying to buy a truck, and he's saying, at the end of the day, what is your stress and headache worth in price? Would rather have a simple, no emission truck. The way you buy a truck is you save your pennies. That's what I've been doing. I'm looking for a truck. William, if you're looking for a truck and you can wrench like Kenny and like we've been talking, find a pre-emission. That's definitely the way to go.
Do it before you get on the road. Do it before you get on the road. If you get this truck, like with the older trucks, like I said, they have little baby dumb problems that might inconvenience you, but you can get ahead of those things. Like if you buy the truck, you just do all the brakes, just because it's cheap enough. Just do all the brakes, especially if you can do it yourself. Do all the wheel seals. Change all the hoses and change all the battery cables, and then the truck will just drive and not really give you any problems. As long as you got rebuild paperwork and the trans has paperwork, stuff like that, change your fluids, and the truck is not going to give you any problems, and it doesn't cost that much.
Gabriel chimed in. He says, I think all the motors that are on the market today suck. I'm on the old school motors, too many problems with everything today. Money pits. Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, you know what? The new engines are not that big of a deal. Let's forget about the Max Force, but the DD15 is a good one. The X15 is also a good engine. The ISX had some issues, and I've known of multiple examples where you have to rebuild it, around 600,000-700,000 miles. But generally, the emissions are usually the problem because the technology with engines is getting better. You have, the engines are reliable. What makes them not reliable is emissions. And if you could got out, if you have an X15 that doesn't have emissions on it, and you have, let's say, off-road use, that engine's going to run for $1.5 million.
Yeah, I think, I think it's more of a who's buying the truck thing because, I'm pretty sure if I had a Max Force, if I had an X15, if I had a DD15, just the way I am, I'll be able to make it reliable because I'm going to be overkill with the maintenance, changing the filters, changing the fluids. I'm going to be overkill with the maintenance. So yeah, you can get into anything as long as you're the right type of person to make that thing work. It's up to you. But I think that those emissions engines are trash only because when you compare them to things like the C15 and the 3406E and the Detroit Series 60, when you can put those in comparison versus those things, that's what makes them trash. Because most people buy these newer trucks and they're pretty reliable for the first couple of years. But when you compare them to other things like the 3406, you're like, man, this is like nowhere near as good or as reliable as this thing. You know what I mean? It's not just saying they're not reliable at all, just in comparison type of thing.
100%. The good thing about the Series 60 is that you can buy a crate motor for $20K and just plug it into your truck, and you don't have to overhaul
to
it.
Me, that's like insane. And like $20K, you got to think what comes with that $20K. People think that might be expensive, but if you get a $15K rebuild, you're getting a rebuild. If you get a crate engine, you're getting a turbo, you're getting a new manifold, you're getting a new ECM, you're getting all new injectors. So everything comes as a kit with the crate motor, and you're just starting fresh. And you could just run it for 10 years and then get a crate motor. Run it for 10 years, get a crate motor.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Awesome. Kenny, I appreciate you stopping by, man. I know you're tired and I know you've been running hard. So I know you're almost home. I stopped you. I was like, hey, hop on for a second, right? Are you far
man, I was excited to come.
How far are you from your destination?
I'm going to stop for fuel in like 20 minutes. And then from there, I think I'm like another hour. So I'm right around the block.
Okay. Awesome. Well, you're always invited. You have the access. And then I'm going to wrap it up. It's almost 8:40. I usually try to stick under the 30-minute mark, but I'm doing it every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central. I'm hopping on and chatting with viewers and just hanging out. So if you ever have time, just hop on and we'll hang out and talk to people. So I appreciate you. Go do your thing, finish up, and I'm gonna end this too in a few minutes. So appreciate you stopping by, Kenny.
Cool. Thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Be safe out there.
See ya. Thank you.
See ya. Bye. All right, guys. That's pretty much it for today. After hours. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about. Comment. Send me a text message. There's a lot happening in our free group, and we nonstop talk about trucks and help each other. So if you guys are not in the group yet, highly, highly recommend it. So thank you guys for tuning in. Be safe out there. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your time with your families, and I'll talk to you next week.